Hi, everyone. I'm live now, testing this new software. Could you please send some comments, whether you hear me or not? Let me connect myself. Check. Cool. I see 15 people live. Can you hear me well? Can you see me well? This is the first time I'm testing this new feature. I've downloaded StreamYard. I've connected my mic. So look like a professional streamer. Unusual feature for LinkedIn. I used to write different posts, but not going live. We'll see how it goes. Can you hear me well? Cool. Yes. Cool. Okay. 21. Amazing. Very unusual. Very unusual. So I really love writing posts about different things on LinkedIn. I hate doing different short videos, reels. I hate webinars. I believe everyone hates them. I also don't like conferences. First of all, it requires travel, and usually it's not a good place for good content. So let's see how it goes with when you go with the flow and just speak on different random topics. By the way, if you feel that you have some questions and you want to ask some questions, or you have some topics you would love to discuss, feel free to post in the comment section. So I'm going to see everything and will respond promptly. So first of all, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Constantine, and I am the CEO and founder of SegmentStream. So we do AI-powered comprehensive marketing analytics for enterprise clients. When I say comprehensive, I do this on purpose because we don't solve just one specific problem, like let's solve attribution problem, or let's do marketing mix modeling, or let's do incrementality testing, or let's do post-purchase service, or let's do something else and let clients compare. So different methodologies gonna show different results. And in most cases, clients are those who need to decide which technology to believe. So this is not our approach. And when we started SegmentStream, of course, our initial mission was to find the truth. And the truth is not when you give different methodologies to the client, and client needs to decide what to believe and what not to believe. And essentially, the biggest problem, the different methodologies show absolutely different results. And our mission and our goal that we are heading towards is to reveal the truth, so that we as a company, as a technology provider, are responsible to unleash the truth. We are responsible to apply all these technologies to synthesize results and to show our clients final holistic dashboard where they can look at their marketing campaigns and see what works, what doesn't work. And of course, why I've decided to create this live stream today is, first of all, it was a lot of fun when I first told about this idea to our CRO, Ben. It was funny. Like first, I proposed him to do this, just to talk to audience, to potential clients, and then he thought, and what if no one gonna come? And I told him, oh, it's gonna be huge pain for my ego. But luckily, I see more than 30 people, almost 27 people already. So my ego is happy. At least I'm not alone here. Yeah, and second thing is, of course, I understand that I'm really involved in many of client calls and everyday I hear a lot of different problems about the marketing analytics today and about the companies who are investing millions of dollars, and they sometimes have no clue what really brings impact, what is incremental, what is not incremental, how to allocate budgets. And maybe today I'm going to talk a little bit about the most common problems, and I already have some interesting comments from LinkedIn. Maybe we're going to discuss them as well. So first of all, let's start with different marketing measurement methodologies that are currently popular on the market, and like what is the problem with all the methodologies we currently have, and why it's such hard to find the solutions that will unleash the truth and show what really brings value to the business. So for the last maybe 20 years, businesses heavily relied on attribution, and essentially it worked quite well for most of the businesses. The problem, oh, Connor joined. Welcome, happy to see you here. Yeah, and thank you for support for everyone who is joining. It's really a new format for me. So if you would love to try this format of live stream for LinkedIn, let me know in a private message. I will give you the whole tool set, how to set it up. So it's not hard, and it works from the first attempt. So let's go back to attribution. So attribution was a tool to go for most of the clients. So everyone knows Google Analytics, everyone knows advertising platforms, Google Ads, Facebook Ads, and for a while it was working pretty well. The problem started, some people say problem started with deprecation of third-party cookies. No, problem started much earlier. Some people say that problem started with the introduction of ITP and privacy and GDPR. The answer is, again, no, problem started much earlier. So the real problem started with adoption of smartphones, iPads, and the main problem is that clients, your potential client that come to your website, use multiple devices, multiple browsers. And of course, right now, problem just became much bigger with all this GDPR, with all this cookie consent, when like 50% of the visitors who visit the website just reject cookies, and you cannot track them anymore, and you have no clue where they're coming from, and you have no clue how to optimize your marketing, how to send signals back to Google Ads and to Facebook. Of course, most of you send, and it was a very funny post on LinkedIn that I've seen recently, that the guy who is selling server-to-server conversions API tracking, he told that there is a solution how you can improve your tracking. Just implement Conversions API. And actually, this is what Facebook is pushing to everyone. Just implement Conversions API and your tracking is solved. No. Conversions API is just another way to track server to server. But if user doesn't give you consent, you are not allowed to use Conversions API. Of course, it's much harder to make an audit. It's much harder for user to understand that this user was actually tracked, because if it's client-side tracking, you can just open the browser and you can see that the data is going to Facebook or Google servers, despite you've not given a consent. While you're doing Conversions API and server-to-server tracking, it's much harder to check. But from the legal perspective, you are not allowed to track such users as well. So Conversions API is not a solution, at least for big businesses that get audited and that can get huge fines for doing this. So yeah, so there, despite cross-device and cross-browsers, right now there are much more problems. So first of all, ITP, cookies that expire in 7 days, in-app browsers. So probably this is one of the biggest problems. So most of the ads that you run for social media, especially on Instagram and Instagram stories, on Twitter, like whenever you click these ads, the website opens in so-called web view. So it's in-app browser. So it's not a standalone browser on your mobile device. It's an in-app browser. And usually this in-app browser is separate in every single application. So Instagram has its own in-app browser. Twitter has its own in-app browser. Facebook has its own in-app browser. Even WhatsApp has its own in-app browser. So this way, cross-device is not an issue anymore. Cross-browser is an issue, because even on one mobile device, even on one iPhone that belongs to you, you might have like 5 or 10 different browsers depending on the apps that you are using. That's why in many cases you see that your ads on Instagram and Facebook, on TikTok are so inefficient, because most of the clicks are opened inside the in-app browser. And only later, when someone decided that they really love your product, they want to engage with your product more, they switch to the system browser like Chrome or Safari. So this is a big issue as well. So there are so many issues, but to outline them, it's first of all, attribution doesn't solve the problem of understanding which traffic source actually impacted sale. So it was a very interesting experiment that we've run internally with a few of our big accounts. So we decided to compare first touch attribution to last touch attribution. So before, like 10 years ago, probably you're going to see like a significant difference. So it's like 2 different attributions in one. Like with first click, you attribute all the value to the first touch. So there's the initial touch, how your client actually found out about your brand. And last click usually gives credit to the last click, to the last interaction with the client, to the closing channel. So this it was a huge surprise for us. So when we've compared first touch to last touch, we barely saw any difference. So right now in the world of marketing, the customer journey is so fragmented between devices, between browsers, between different cookies, and cookies expire so fast. In many cases, users use private mode, and in many cases, they reject cookies. So we saw that there is almost no difference between first touch and last touch, just because within the same device and within the same browser and within the same cookie, usually it's only one paid interaction. Like the difference was something between 1 to 2%. So this was really funny to see. So this is all you need to know about the attribution right now. So it's, in many cases, it's completely useless if you have a long consideration period, and if you have long consideration period, most probably you invest in mid funnel and upper funnel. So long consideration period means that between seeing your ad for the first time and making a purchase, like some significant time should pass, usually more than 1 hour, usually more than one session. Because even if it's like 2 days, sometimes it's already a long consideration cycle, and in many cases it may already lead to fragmented customer journey. Yeah, so so of course, if you have a business that sells from the first click, like for example, I don't know, I would love to order flowers for my mother's birthday. And of course, the consideration period here is very fast. I just Google for flower delivery in specific city, and then I order flowers. Amazing. Attribution going to work perfectly for you, and it doesn't matter whether it's first touch or last touch or a multi-touch attribution. So doesn't matter. So you're going to be able to track conversion within the first click, and probably built-in Google Ads and Facebook Ads attribution going to work perfectly for you. For all other businesses where there is some substantial consideration period, probably most of your upper funnel channels and mid funnel channels going to be very, very, very undervalued. And it's really funny that what I see on LinkedIn, like so many companies, what they actually do, they just use this for the marketing purposes, and they say, okay, upper funnel campaigns are highly undervalued, so we're going to help you. And how they help? They actually just redistribute a huge portion of the contribution from direct, from brand, from email, and from other non-paid channel into channels with high amount of impressions. So this is how many companies distribute value. So they say, okay, TikTok is highly undervalued based on Google Analytics attribution. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna just take fraction of direct non-conversions and redistribute it among upper funnel campaigns with no, like maybe some algorithm under the hood, but in many cases it's just redistribution of conversions based on impressions. And of course, it has nothing to do with true incrementality. And of course, if at some point you're gonna buy some trash inventory where you're gonna put your banners or you're gonna put your ads and millions impressions going to be generated with different bots, and probably most of these ads are not even viewable. These attribution platforms are going to attribute a lot of value, a lot of conversions to such ads, claiming that these conversions have incremental value, while in reality, it's far from truth. So yeah, let's go further. Like I believe everything is clear with attribution. So the main statement is that, first of all, it doesn't matter whether you use multi-touch attribution, first touch attribution, last touch attribution, whatever touch attribution, linear touch attribution. In any case, results going to be the same, because all attribution platforms work based on cookies. And as long as customer journey is fragmented, you're going to see only the last mile, the last touch in many cases. Even if in analytics, it's going to look as a first touch, in reality, in real customer journey, which is not possible to stitch and which is not possible to observe and which is not possible to know, it's going to be the same. So that's why, again, I see a lot of uprise in marketing mix modeling. So there's so many posts I see every day promoting marketing mix modeling. So it's really funny that technology that was invented in 60s, so it's almost like 85 years old, is getting so much attention right now. And again, my take on this, it's a hype. And it's like cookieless future, like cookieless marketing analytics. Like everyone tries to use the hype to get attention and to get clients. But the main question is whether this technology can really help business understand which traffic sources actually bring value and are incremental. And I would say, let me give my raw estimate, like in 99% of cases, MMM won't be able to show anything and won't be able to give any value to any business, especially when this business is performance driven, like lead generation business, like e-commerce. So this is just a waste of time, waste of resources, and probably a misleading method that you're gonna use to make your budget allocation decisions. So probably this method still viable for some huge FMCG brands who run large TV advertising campaigns, or are not able or don't have access to any other data rather than money they put into advertising and actual conversions they see, or probably these conversions are transferred to them from different retailers. But for most of performance-driven businesses, it doesn't matter whether it's B2B, whether it's lead generation business, travel and hospitality, whether it's automotive, whether it's real estate, whether it's e-commerce. So it doesn't matter. Marketing mix modeling won't be able to solve your problem because it is so inaccurate. So like trusting results of marketing mix modeling sometimes is like reading tea leaves. So it shows absolutely different results. I have a funny story from one of my friends, and they did a huge launch inside the app store. And when you go inside the app store, you can your app can be featured, and you can have this app of the day or some paid advertising right on the homepage of the app store. And they decided to try this, so they've launched a campaign for a few days there, and they had enormous amount of impressions. But unfortunately, because this impressions and this ad was not properly targeted, because it was shown just to anyone who opens App Store randomly and then just goes searching for whatever they were searching, they have very small number of installs, really small number compared to money they've paid and compared to the amount of impressions they've had. And they've asked, few months later, they asked for an audit from one of the agencies that charged them, I won't even tell you numbers, but really huge numbers, compared to what we charge our clients for the annual subscription. So they've prepared a custom-built marketing mix modeling report, and they showed the huge success of this campaign. Because what they had inputs they had. Of course, they had some seasonalities. They have some information about sale periods. They had some other lousy data like weather. They had some information about, and of course, they had numbers of impressions, and they had budget that was invested. And of course, their marketing mix modeling, because it works on pure econometrics, it showed oh, this campaign is highly incremental, while it was absolutely not true, because you can make a simple measurement and you can see how many installs and how many conversions you've actually had. And in many cases, like MMM, so I love what Elon Musk usually says, that when you want to understand something and when you want to be confident in your knowledge, you need to go to the very basics of the knowledge. So when he started building rockets or electric cars, he was not just taking all the information that was like right now we have our iPhone, but tomorrow if we would be required to build this from scratch, I don't believe anyone going to be able to do this, because we have no idea. Most of us have no idea how it works. So the same with marketing mix modeling, the same with machine learning, the same with Google Ads, smart bidding, the same with attribution. So a lot of people say cookies are going away, but most of the people don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even know what cookie is. They don't know what is a difference between first-party cookies and third-party cookies. So that's why what I usually say, it's very important to go to the basics, to know the basic knowledge. The most basic knowledge helps you to build up to some higher knowledge. So if you know basic math, or you know how to come up with some specific formula, you can always reproduce it. Every time someone's going to give you a formula, you're going to be able to calculate it. But if you memorize this, of course, you don't have deep knowledge and you don't understand what you're talking about. So this is a very important thing that I always want to emphasize in my company. So with marketing mix modeling, it's essential. So what marketing mix modeling is doing essentially, it helps you to understand whether some significant investment in particular marketing activity made a change, made a shift in the number of revenue or the amount of conversions you've got in a subsequent period of time, compared to what would have happened if you wouldn't have invested this money in the first place. And of course, this investment should be significant. It won't work if you just launched a new campaign and invested like $5,000. It will be invisible, it will be statistically insignificant. But with marketing mix modeling, probably what is funny about marketing mix modeling, that if you are able to see the increment, if you're able to see the chart and the amount of conversions that grew significantly with your bare eyes, probably you're going to see this with marketing mix modeling. Why invest $50,000, $100,000 per report if you can just see it with your eyes? essentially. So this is really funny when people try doing it. And of course, there are so many factors. First of all, I hear a lot, especially from agencies who try to justify their marketing investment, and I understand them, because in many cases they just don't have a tool set to justify investment in different upper funnel activities, while clients push them and tell them like why CPA is increasing, why ROAS is decreasing, and they need to have some tool set, and probably marketing mix modeling is one of a few tools they have, and of course they're pushing this hard. But what I really see, that essentially it won't be able to show anything if you invest less than a few millions of dollars, and when you have these flight campaigns, which like most of e-commerce businesses, most of lead generation businesses, they have ongoing campaigns. So ongoing campaign means that you have this campaign all the time. This is not like you invest $1 million in like mid-January and then you again decrease your budget and see what is going on. In many cases, you have like ongoing investment, and this way marketing mix modeling won't be able to even recognize different fluctuations in your budget reallocation. And of course, you won't be able to see any results. And I see from many agencies about like fast-paced marketing mix modeling. So there's so many companies that propose marketing mix modeling that can be done like in a very fast way, like almost on a daily basis, they can update reports. And of course, this is nonsense. First of all, in the first place, if you want to build marketing mix modeling, it is never fast, because you need at least 1 year, perfectly 2 or 3 years of historical data, just to understand the trend, just to understand the seasonality. So this is like basics. You won't be able just to run it like, okay, let's have a fast-paced marketing mix modeling. Impossible. And again, to understand this, you need to go to the basics of understanding of statistics, of machine learning, of regression analysis, but we won't go there. Anyways, when you don't know, when you just hear something on a conference, you just believe that this is going to solve the problem. Unfortunately, this won't. So there is no such thing as fast-paced, because at least you need a lot of historical data just to understand seasonality, just to understand the trend of your, let's call business as usual. So when you don't make huge investment, how your business works as usual, because at some point you're going to need for the subsequent month, you're going to need to predict how many conversions you're going to get and how many conversions you've got and what was the investment. And so your MMM always kind of uses outdated data. Can I say so? Yeah. So the data is always outdated. So if you have COVID or something changed in macroeconomics, or it's already not relevant. So yes, your MMM is built on the COVID data, but now there is no COVID. Right now, like everyone is going to shops and like, or for example, a year ago, you didn't have a competition. Have you heard recent news about Nike? Probably they've used marketing mix modeling. So their shares shrunk. Probably they used marketing mix modeling. They analyzed the data. They didn't have any competition. But now you see lots of new brands appear, and now you have competition. And competition like essentially fucks up your whole marketing mix modeling, because before you didn't have competition, now you have competition. And you need to factor this in. And this is the only way for you to predict something. So let's move away from marketing mix modeling. I've already invested a lot of time into it, while in most cases, when I read posts about marketing mix modeling and how it's going to solve your problems and how some agency going to run marketing mix modeling that you've never seen before, like I usually roll my eyes and sometimes leave comments, but in most cases I just ignore this. So what else? What else do we have as an arsenal for measurement, for understanding? So of course, another methodology that is quite popular is incrementality testing. So probably you've heard about geo-based incrementality testing. So essentially what it means that statistical model finds similar location. For example, you sell your products across the US, and machine learning model is able to identify that, for example, California and Florida have the same behavioral and purchase pattern as New York and Nevada. It's just an example. So as long as they have similar behavioral patterns, similar patterns of like investment and conversions, like their graphs align, what you can do, you can create a control group and you can create a test group. And then you can apply either withhold method or scale, but let's simplify and talk about the withhold method. So essentially, you just stop showing your ads in New York and Nevada and continue showing your ads in 2 other states as usual. And then after 2 weeks, after 1 month, depending on your sales cycle, you just make a comparison based on pure conversion. So the model predicts business as usual, but as long as you've switched off your ads, of course, if your ads were incremental, you're going to have a drop in revenue. Your revenue going to drop, your amount of conversion is going to drop. So this is how incrementality works. And again, first of all, launching incrementality test is quite time-consuming and requires a lot of knowledge. Yes, there are lots of platforms, including ours, that allow launching geo-tests, but I see 2 big problems and challenges of incrementality testing, even though I personally love it and our chief product officer really loves it. So he's a huge evangelist of geolocation-based testing compared to all other methods. There are 2 big problems with geotesting. First of all, this effect should be quite significant. So, for example, imagine you have Facebook, and I'm not talking about running incrementality test for 1 campaign right now. Let's forget it about this for a while. Let's say you want to understand like incrementality of your Facebook, like all Facebook campaigns. And imagine that in reality, Facebook, based on, in reality, we don't know reality, but imagine in reality, Facebook contributes towards 5% of your overall revenue or 10%. It's very possible that based on the pattern that you're going to see, based on the trend, it won't be observable. So when you launch incrementality test and when control group is compared to the test group, even before the test, it always says, like in our platform, maybe I'm going to show you later, it shows like minimal detectable effect is 15%. So what it essentially means, if true incrementality of Facebook is less than 15%, you won't be able to see difference. The result's going to be insignificant. So again, it's very, you need to have significant budgets, and first of all, your paid advertising, or at least the channel that you want to test, should be significant. It cannot be some channel that contributes towards like 1% of your total revenue. This won't make any sense to run incrementality test, because you won't be able to get significant results and you won't be able to see anything. So minimal detectable effect is usually like 10%. It depends, of course. It depends on the pattern. It depends on the data, but in many cases, it's quite high. And the second problem, I would say, is that incrementality testing is the only method that is invasive. So like, let me give you an example. So like, when we talk about marketing mix modeling, it's like you observe people who smoke and you observe people who do not smoke. And in 50 years, you see that those who do not smoke live 5 years longer. And you say, okay, So smoking causes early death. But the problem is that the method that you are using is correlation sometimes rather than causation. So it might be that people who smoke essentially much more stressed, or they have a horrible life, or there's so many things that can be wrong and makes people smoke. And the real test, if you want to run a real test, like geo-based incrementality test, like we call in marketing, what you're going to need to do, you're going to need to take only healthy people, just like healthy people, 1,000 healthy people, and make them smoke. Like 50% of them, you need to make them smoke for 10 years, for example, or till the end of their life. And after that, if you're going to observe that those who smoke are actually dying earlier, then only then you can make a very, very statistically significant judgment that, yeah, smoking really causes early death. So I hope this analogy makes it more clear. So, and this is a problem because it's very hard to, because if you're going to make 500 people smoke, you actually might be doing harm. Might not. Who knows? Maybe if someone going to run this experiment at least once, maybe we're going to see in 50 years, oh, looks like smoking is not the cause, and it's going to be fun. But with incrementality testing, the problem is that it's invasive. So you've had your marketing, it was running fine. You don't know whether it's good or bad. It was just running. Revenue was generating. And now, all of a sudden, you're going to need to stop your ads in particular regions for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, for 1 month. How is it going to impact your overall revenues? Is your CFO going to be happy with that if by the end of the quarter, you're not going to reach your quota? And of course, I see a lot of companies that say incrementality testing is the way to go, and you should be having ongoing incrementality testing all the time. Again, for me, this is not realistic. Of course, as tech people, and I'm also from tech, I'm from data science and software development, and of course, I love methods that are really statistical and that are really where you can really measure causation instead of correlation. But business-wise, I don't see that any business can allow ongoing incrementality testing. That's why, for example, in our platform, we have a possibility to run incrementality test, but we never encourage our clients to run it continuously. We just say, okay, you have analytics, you have marketing analytics, and of course, it's also built on different algorithms on machine learning. And we never can say that it's perfect. We can say it's better than many of the analytics platforms you use, but we can never claim that we are showing the truth at the moment. That's why we've built a functionality of incrementality testing so that you can launch it once or 2 times a year to measure true incrementality of Facebook, of TikTok, of whatever, and then calibrate and then fine-tune your primary attribution method. So that once it's calibrated, once it's fine-tuned, you can continue using attribution instead of ongoing incrementality tests. So this is about incrementality tests. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section, because as long as it's a live stream, the value of the live stream is that it can be really interactive. What else do we have? We have post-purchase journeys. So post-purchase service. So probably you can see on many websites when you've made a purchase, you see like a questionnaire where you've been asked like, how did you find out about us? And you can choose like Google search or Facebook ads or influencers or whatever. Again, I have mixed feelings about this. We've been using this for a while on our own website. And what we see, first of all, in many cases, people just choose the first option. So whatever you put on the top, whether it's Google search or Facebook or TikTok, if you put something on the top, in many cases, they just click the first possible option. And it shows how credible is this method. The second problem is that sometimes people just don't know how they found about you. So you mentioned like Google search. What is Google search? Is it organic? Is it brand? Is it paid search? So like for example, if my mother is looking for something for her, Google search is Google search. She doesn't make any difference. She cannot distinguish the difference between paid search, whether it was paid. So in many cases, I cannot make the difference. Sometimes I just open Google and click on the first result. I don't even realize that this was a paid ad because it happens so quick. So in many cases, people kind of confuse. Or for example, Facebook. What is Facebook? Is it like someone posted about, is it Facebook social or it's paid social? Or sometimes on the website I saw TikTok and influencers, and there are two separate options that you can choose. But most of the influencers are on TikTok. So what do I need to choose? Like because marketers sometimes are so biased, and they think that all their clients are also biased, like that they have a clear understanding what is the difference between TikTok influencer and TikTok paid ad. No one cares. No one cares. That's why this method can be used just, I don't know, as an additional method, just to have some understanding and have another lens, another angle on your acquisition channels. But again, in my opinion, I have very mixed feelings about post-purchase service. Yeah, so what we have attribution doesn't work, MMM doesn't work, incrementality testing not possible to use continuously, very hard to implement, and highly invasive. Post-purchase, very hard to use. What we're gonna do? Yeah. So yeah, that's why we essentially started the company, started SegmentStream to solve this problem. So what do we do at SegmentStream actually? So there is another method that I haven't talked about, and I would say this is a core method that we at SegmentStream use. So this is a core technology that works under the hood of our platform, and I believe we are quite unique in this. So the only analytics that you can trust is a single visit analytics or a single session analytics, because only during one session you can be 100% sure that cookie is not going to expire, that browser not going to be changed, that device not going to be switched. So you're 100% sure that during this short period of time of one session, at least you can trust the data that you're receiving. And then the biggest challenge is to make sense of this data. So with SegmentStream, probably you can go to my LinkedIn profile and check the video that explains how the platform works. But essentially, what we care about is actual behavior, actual customer engagement during the session. And then we apply machine learning model that can interpret this set of different events. So you came to the website, browsed 5 products, applied filters, selected the product you like, for example, some beautiful dress, checked whether there is a suitable size in stock, then you've read some reviews, then you've interacted more with a website, and then you left and never returned back. So this is a usual case, yeah. And in reality, the customer might have returned and eventually purchased this particular dress, but from another device, another browser, another cookie, in 1 month, in 3 months. The main problem that you not be able to know this ever about this ever. So the only information you know that someone who clicked your amazing Instagram stories ad, someone who clicked your ad, came to your website and was very highly engaged and was really interested in some particular product. So it was not a random user. It was not some random bot. It was not someone who is not your target audience. It was someone from your target audience who was very, very engaged and very interested in buying your product. And if you properly apply machine learning here based on the customer behavior, you even can predict the probability for this particular user to buy. And this is essentially the core technology of SegmentStream. So imagine a website that has 100 conversions per month. Small website is just an example. And imagine that most of the conversions are attributed to direct none. So what happens in SegmentStream? Instead of just doing attribution, when we connect the final conversion with a previous known session, which is usually not the first, and sometimes it can be fifth, it can be 10th from different devices and browsers. What we do instead, we analyze every single session, every single visit, and apply a score for this visit of how valuable was this visit for the business, how incremental was this visit, how the probability to buy was shifting from 0 to non-zero during this session. And then we take all these like 100 conversions and we redistribute them according to the score that that had been given to each single session. And this way you can finally see which traffic sources actually contribute towards your final conversions. And of course, I won't go in depth about how SegmentStream works because today's live stream I wanted to dedicate more just for the broad view of different options that we have on the market and different myths that are distributed by many people and different misunderstanding and different misconceptions. So again, if you have questions, feel free to write them in a comment section. Yeah. So what else do you want to talk about? Yeah, maybe we can take some example. Yeah, so yesterday I've engaged with CMO of Submagic. And it's interesting and a really cool product. So let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? Yeah, so, and he wrote in his LinkedIn that attribution in SaaS acquisition is a nightmare. At Submagic, we have 4 main acquisition channels: affiliate marketing, influencers, Facebook ads, Google ads. We are looking to enhance our attribution model and shift towards a first touch model. Again, good luck with first touch model. So this is exactly what I was talking about in the beginning of my live stream. Yeah. So in many cases, first touch won't show any difference comparing to last touch or to any touch or to multi-touch or to data-driven touch, or because customer journey is highly fragmented. Different cookies, different browsers, different devices. That's it. it won't help. So the data from advertising is not reliable, and tracking organic sources is very challenging. Do you have any valuable insights or recommended tools to share? Yeah, so and actually they're doing quite amazing business. So let me share their website. Let me share with their website. Yeah, hope you can see it. So it's quite cool actually. They apply AI technology to create viral shorts. So you can post them probably on Instagram, on LinkedIn. So instead of doing everything manually, you can just upload your videos, and that's it. And AI gonna do everything else. So it's a cool product. I've never used, but website looks quite cool. They have pricing. So essentially, when we look at this website, there are two problems that we need to solve. The first problem is how to track everything that happens before someone signs up. Because in my from my perspective, SaaS business in many cases is lead generation business, because they have try for free, so they have freemium model, and it means essentially that only a fraction of their customers going to convert into paying customers. So whoever signs up essentially is not a customer yet. Some path need to happen before they become a customer. So essentially, there are two challenges here: how to track anything that happens before the sign up, before you get a lead and robust user ID that you can use for tracking now, for offline tracking. And the second challenge is how do you track anything that happens after the sign up? So let me explain. So let's start with before sign up. So someone comes to the website. They read about the features, they read about the use cases, they check pricing. Cool. And then, I don't know, they just send, for example, my assistant checks the website, and then they just send this link to some creator. Creator comes, opens the link from the different browser, from the different device, and signs up. So if you implement first touch attribution, this sign up gonna be attributed to direct known, or to WhatsApp referral, or to whatever messenger that was used to send this link. So essentially, the initial click on the ad was done by another person, and then this person shared an interesting product with a creator, and creator signed up. So first click attribution doesn't solve the problem, because we have different set of cookies. And yes, first touch was direct none, and it will not help you to make a proper understanding of the contribution of your ads. While, for example, if we go with behavioral single session attribution, what's going to happen? The first person who clicked the ad was browsing the website, was reading about all the features, was reading use cases, was reviewing pricing. So actually, this was the person who actually made a decision, and this was a target audience, and actually the ad made its job, and it should have been attributed with a credit. So single session attribution going to solve this problem, and going to attribute credit depending on the probability to buy for this particular user who engaged first. And the second user who actually signed up going to receive less credit, because they just came to the website straight away and signed up. So machine learning will be able to figure this out very easily. So this is the first part, and all the journeys can be very, very fragmented. So, but taking into account that this is not like a one-pager, this website actually has a lot of pages that can be analyzed by machine learning, and we can really understand the engagement. We can apply single session behavioral analytics to make proper distribution and understand which. But listen very carefully right now, we can understand which channels drive leads, which channels drive signups. So part of the problem is solved. Now we know which channels actually drive signups. But the main idea, we don't care about signups. Like probably 90% of all signups will remain on the free version. Maybe 50% of the signups gonna sign up for 1 month and then gonna churn. And only a small fraction of those signups gonna pay annually and gonna stick with us as our loyal customers. So what we care about, so this is the second part, and the second part of the problem after the sign up. So we've solved the problem before the sign up, before the lead acquisition. Now we need to solve a problem after the sign up. So this one is requires different technology. So in many cases, I see the problem of lead generation businesses that they optimize for leads. But leads, not all leads are made equal. And some leads can bring you thousands of dollars of revenue, and some leads are simply useless. And some leads might be even harmful. They might be from your competitors who are just checking your product, or even bots. So we had a problem on our website one that we've got a lot of bots who were sending requests on our SegmentStream website. So essentially, it was just a optimized browser. Like you can use Selenium, many different optimization tools that can go to anyone's website, just sometimes even imitate some human behavior, and then create a demo request with some random email. And our Google Analytics and our Google Ads was confused because it looked like real leads, but there was no connection with the CRM, and there was no connection with the final revenue. So the second part of the problem is how do we, we solved the first part. We know which channels actually drive leads, but we do not have distinguishment between bad leads and good leads. And of course, you might say, okay, we just make a CRM integration. We just connect leads with CRM. After that, we're going to observe each user for the next, for example, 3 months. And we know that usually churn happens within 3 months. And that's it. And we can analyze. But again, to make this kind of analysis, you're going to need to wait for 3 months. What it essentially means, first of all, it means that you won't be able to use ad platform optimization, because most of ad platforms, they can get feedback signal about the conversion max within 7 days. And even Facebook says, if you send the signal within 7 days, it's like very, very bad. Ideally, send this within 1 hour or 1 day, but not. But if only after 3 months you can understand whether this user converted or not, or whether this user has LTV that is significant for your business, you're going to try to send this conversion back to Facebook. Facebook not going to accept it. It's too late, because attribution window of Facebook is just 7 days, and Facebook can optimize their smart bidding strategies only based on conversions, only based on feedback signals you send. So this is not an option. So many people don't think about this. So how we solve this at SegmentStream? So let me try for free. Sign up with Google. I believe I already signed up. So actually, they have quite cool sign up process. So they have like initial questionnaire, like who am I, whether I'm an entrepreneur, or whether my team is from 1 to 20 people or 100 people, whether I'm a creator. Like they have quite a good questionnaire that is already cool, because you can use this data and you can track it in CRM to predict the future value. So, and then of course, a new journey starts. And the difference of this journey compared to previous journey is that right now you don't have cookie problems. So there is no cookie expiration anymore on the table. Right now you have steady user ID that you can use across multiple devices. It doesn't matter whether I log in on desktop or whether I log in from mobile device. Right now, I'm logged in, and I can do stuff. I can create projects. I can upload new videos. I can review. So let me check projects. Yeah, I can upload new video. I can drag and drop new video. I can create stuff, create new folders, invite someone to collaborate, again, review pricing, do whatever I want. And all this information can be tracked as a behavioral data, as well as CRM data that you already have within the platform. And what is done next? And of course, my location data can be tracked, like all the data that you can track, you're going to track, because clients already accepted your terms and conditions of your free plan. And probably these terms and conditions include the consent to track all your behavior and track all your data. So now you can build a very, very, very robust machine learning model that can immediately predict. So you can take like your historical data. I don't know for how long this business has been running, but imagine this business, you're in business already for 1 or 2 years. You can take 2 years of historical data with all the behaviors within the platform, within the admin panel, with all the attributes from your CRM, and you can build a very, very accurate model that for every single lead, depending on the parameters, depending on the behaviors that that happens inside the admin panel, depending on the usage, you can very accurately predict the future value of this particular user. Even though I'm on a free trial right now, based on my engagement, based on my behavior, based on my geolocation, based on the questionnaire form that I filled, it's possible to build a model that will accurately predict the future value and even the future LTV. So this is called lead scoring, and we have this feature within the SegmentStream platform as well, and it helps to solve this second part of the problem, what happens after the sign up, because we cannot wait 3 months for the sign up for the sale to happen. We cannot wait for 3-6 months to understand what's going to be the LTV of the particular user, or this user going to just churn in 2 months. Instead, we predict this immediately, and the same day we assign a value, the predicted value, to the lead that happened today, and we can immediately send it back to ad platform. We can immediately send this to Facebook ads, to TikTok ads, to Google ads, and start optimizing towards leads with different values. So before we just had 500 leads. Right now we have 500 leads with different predicted values. Some leads have predicted value of 0. We just understand it's a bot, or someone signed up and never ever engaged with a product, never tried it, and just abandoned it. Or it can be a lead with a predicted value of $3,000, $5,000. So you send these leads back to advertising platform with associated value, and you can immediately start optimizing. And like in 2, 3, 5 weeks, you can just increase your ROAS like 2 times, because you stopped optimizing for some random leads and you started optimizing towards the final value that you're going to eventually receive from these leads. Yeah. So yeah, this was just an example of how this can be used. Yeah, so I don't know. Are there any questions besides what I'm drinking? Juice, grape juice. Yeah, so I guess we've already covered a lot today. Hopefully this was valuable, and hopefully I was able to share my perspective on different methodologies we use for our clients, and an example that like this example of how I analyzed businesses is usually how our customer success or sales team works with clients when they engage with us. So we always go in depth to understand their business. For example, because e-commerce business going to be absolutely different, yeah? So because in e-commerce business, you don't have this last mile after the lead, because maybe I will also share. Okay, let's spend 5 more minutes just to show you. For example, another website. Hope you can see the screen. Our beloved client, Rebel Cycles, they make amazing cycles, and actually, like, the website itself is really cool, and I really encourage you to check their there are cycles, and they have like really cool designs. So when the question is that when you look at the price, do you believe that bicycle at this price range can be purchased in one click? Someone just, oh, I saw a random ad or Googled for buy a bicycle, and then you just click, okay, buy. Probably impossible. So in this particular case, the consideration period going to be extremely long. In many cases, so if I gonna ask, I don't know, chief digital officer of Rebel Cycles, what is the average consideration period? Like, the very genuine answer probably going to be, I don't know, because essentially there is no way to track this. Yes, you can go to Google Analytics and to see, like, before the purchase, usually there are 3 visits and 5 minutes on the website. But this is a bullshit data because it's based on cookie. Probably customers engage with the brand, click on different ads on different platforms, Instagram, TikTok, etc., many times for months before they decide to finally make a purchase. But this type of business is essentially very different to the business I've demonstrated before, because in this particular case, you have a very long consideration period when customer is anonymous. It's the potential customer is not logged in. So you have this cookie issue that you need to solve. But once the decision is made, you just make a purchase and there is no long tail. So essentially nothing happens after you've got a lead. So this is a typical case for most of the e-commerce businesses. So they don't have this offline component in many cases. So essentially the only problem that we need to solve is just to understand which traffic sources actually drive engaged audience. And again, imagine someone comes to the website and browses different bikes, explores, plays with colors, plays with different collections, reads about different I don't know, models, and actually they have a lot of cool features here. Let me check. It's really cool. I love this design so much. Yeah, I can choose my bike. I can change colors right on the website. And imagine someone came to this website, engaged a lot, like really spent like 10 minutes browsing the website, choosing different color options, different pricing options, different color schemas, different settles, and eventually left the website. So the question is, was this click on the ad relevant or not? Would you like to send some signal to Facebook or to Instagram or TikTok to train algorithms to bring more customers like this? Because this customer didn't buy anything. They just left and probably going to buy from another device, but you're never going to know. Most of the customers, such customers, they are hiding it. So in a sense, this is your relevant customers. This is your target audience. And if you're not going to send any signal to Facebook to let Facebook know that you appreciate this click, Facebook won't be able to scale. Facebook won't be able to train their machine learning algorithms. This is essentially where our technology of leading conversions comes in place. So we understand that it's very rare that someone buys from the first click, but we still need to feed Facebook and Google Ads algorithms with conversions. So instead of waiting 3 months for final conversions that happens from direct none, what we're going to do within this session, by the end of the session, we understand that this is a very valuable user. This user started with 0 probability to buy, and his probability to buy increased to 20%. We're going to create a synthetic conversion, and we're going to send it to Facebook. So Facebook algorithms start to learn. So this is just a different example of a different business. And I just want to emphasize that every business is very unique, and you cannot just take some Google Analytics and just put it on top of the business and start trusting all the numbers and reallocating budgets, because MarTech right now requires a synthesis of technical knowledge, of business understanding, of marketing understanding, of machine learning understanding, and all of this needs to be synthesized. That's why it's very important to work very closely with clients. And sometimes you can do proper analytics, you can understand business well, but your technical implementation is just going to fail. So this was just another example of another client. Yeah, cool. I think we need to round up. So if there are no questions, I say, hello, sir, can you please explain about VSL? I have no idea what VSL is, so sorry, I cannot answer your question. Yeah, if there are no questions, so please, I probably going to record this stream and I'm going to leave this in my feed. So if this was valuable, if you like this format, if you want to have this kind of live streams in the future to discuss different topics, or to have real-time digging into some projects and their marketing analytics and how marketing analytics can be solved, please let me know in the comment section. So this will be very valuable for me. Great. Thank you very much for your attention, and hope you enjoyed this live stream.